Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teresa Conroy-Roth, and you are watching the latest episode of Lightning Leadership. Joining me today is my good friend and co-conspirator in this whole Lightning Leadership podcast series is Jason Duigou. Jason, welcome.
Thank you, Teresa. It's good to be back.
Oh my goodness. I think about last April when we were having lunch, and we kind of started this idea and all of the things. Exactly. All of the. We are now, I think we're at our 20th episode,
Wow.
which is just absolutely amazing to me. So with all that ado, let's talk about innovation and weaving innovation into technology and business, and how can we be better? And I know you've got some thoughts on this. I know you've got some tips. So let's go there.
I do. Yeah, thanks. I really am passionate about the topic. In IT today, there's so many demands, right? The technology is changing by the second, it seems. The business is changing, whether it's due to regulatory or they're trying to outsmart their competitors, or there's just a lot of things competing for IT's time. And so, we can't forget about innovation, and that's crucial for our long-term growth or competitive advantage. And so really, I want to jump in and talk about how really IT leaders are uniquely positioned to drive that innovation, right? So my first tip is around innovation is align it with business goals. And so what I mean by that is too often IT is guilty. I'm one of those that that's really cool, and I geek out over something, but really it should serve a specific business objective, right? So and I think it's really behooves the IT folks to deeply understand the business, right? We must engage with those business leaders, discover opportunities that may not be readily apparent to folks. I love shadowing or walking alongside folks, and they're thinking from jumping from this task to this task to this task, and I'm thinking if I can automate that, I relieve some stress, and they can start to think about something more highly valued, right? So that's my first tip: is make sure it aligns with the business goals. The second one is really you need some synergy between business and technology, and what I mean by that is if an IT leader has a unique understanding of both the business landscape as well as the technology, you are uniquely positioned to identify those opportunities I mentioned. And so you can drive that business value. And so, look at things that as you're working with the business to uncover areas of how can I streamline the operations? Can I automate some things? And not just all cost cutting, but how can I drive growth? How can I save somebody 20 minutes a day even, right? So those type of things, it really drives that partnership, but you need to be in lockstep with the business. And then the third step is really around delivering quick wins and tangible results. I'm a big one about stickiness. I talk about stickiness a lot in my day-to-day, and it's the business just does not want to hear about how cool technology is by itself. No. They rather say, how can this make my job better, or what are the outcomes? And so I always preach that early wins are crucial. You want to build that credibility. You want to build that momentum. And so how you get there is start small, right? Don't try to boil the ocean kind of thing. Demonstrate those clear, measurable benefits. Maybe you're improving process efficiency, or you're boosting customer engagement. What's that thing that you're trying to go for? But start really small. We've had this in generative AI as of late, and a lot of things like, it can solve all this stuff and make you breakfast and everything. What can it actually do for me? Okay, for this role, here's 2 ways that you can take advantage of this. Let's partner together with the business to see if that's something that has value. And then we want to promote cross-departmental collaboration. So it's not just IT and some business stakeholders. There's a lot of back office folks, and so getting a lot of folks involved. It doesn't have to be consensus, but it's really valuing that diverse thought and experience. So innovation truly does thrive when teams work together across those departments. You get some aha moments going on, and I love when you could break down silos and you get that flow of thought between IT, marketing, operations, whatever you're looking at. But focus all those folks on tackling specific business challenges, right? IT is an enabler. We want to be an enabler to enable that innovation across the organization. So it gets to be exciting if you can get that momentum moving. So so if you're a digital transformation team, you're trying to come up, maybe customer service or sales can identify with some of that. How can we all get involved in that?
Okay, so I missed 2. I've got shadowing, quick wins, cross-departmental collaboration. What were the other two?
So we have aligned innovation with business goals. That's the first. And then we want to leverage the synergy between the business and technology. So
Yep.
that's how you can start to do that. And that's that shadowing. How can I bring some things in? So the third one is around the quick wins and tangible results. That's key, because you want to put a stake in the sand and say, hey, we're making some progress. We're moving the needle forward, right?
Yeah.
And then the fourth one is the cross-departmental collaboration. So really not just, you'll have a primary business stakeholder. Operations is an easy one, right? So if you have a manufacturing plant or whatever business you're in, those are the end results, but there are supporting functions around those that you want that cross-departmental collaboration in. So I think that's crucial in there. And then number five is defining a measurable outcome for that innovation. So how are these innovation efforts linked to measurable business outcomes? Whether is it revenue growth, is it improved customer satisfaction, et cetera. So really starting to understand that, even if it's small stuff. And I mentioned earlier, does it save people time? I love this says, hey, it's going to save somebody 20 minutes a day, right? We're not replacing jobs. It's not the goal of it, but how can we make the job easier? Well, 20 minutes a day times 1,000 people. Well, there's a business case, right? So how can we start to lean in and get more momentum and more excitement? And so that's how it adds up slowly. A lot of IT leaders think they've got to come up with millions and millions of dollars of tangible return. It doesn't have to be. You can do these little bits of effort to move the needle forward. And again, you start to perpetuate this. Maybe in a year you get that combined effort of savings or combined effort of better customer engagement or whatever your ideal situation is. So
love it. I early on in my career, I had a CIO friend of mine that was huge into shadowing, and it wasn't a big deal to see him, whether it be on the shop floor or with the accounts receivable team, just saying, show me what you do, help me understand. Right. And that, number one, I think, built credibility. It built trust. It built an understanding, so that when they were making key decisions or looking for a new software or trying to find innovative ways to do something, they had the baseline.
Mhm.
And they had the firsthand baseline, as opposed to having someone, maybe do a process map flow or something along those lines. And it was real world scenarios, right? But that was very early on. And it was always something that, just kind of I looked up to at that point, because it kind of goes into the servant leadership model and, sitting side by side with someone and understanding how they break bread. Just a fabulous thing. But thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. That one more point on that is it's crucial for the IT folks to get out there, because even with generative AI recently, there was a use case that was like, hey, we could use this for manufacturing. And I'm like, and it's voice activated, and we can say, hey, Gen AI, do X, Y, and Z. And I said, well, do you understand this manufacturing floor? They're wearing ear protection because there's a lot of noise there. So, you can help say, I love the idea, it might not work in this application. So the more you know about the business, the better you can go explore use cases, right? So.
Awesome. JD, thank you so much.
Hey, I appreciate it as always, my friend.
This has been great. Again, so many, we could sit here for hours. It's all good. So thank you again. For those of you that are watching and following along on LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, please feel free to like, share, comment, and keep in touch. Thank you again, JD, and we'll see you next time.
I appreciate it, Teresa. Thank you.